What is going on, YouTube people? Cards and Comics here, and boy, oh boy, all you little tax cheats out there are gonna be happy about this one. So, for those that may or may not be aware of this, we'll give some very quick background. Oh, first off, let me get some let's get some particulars out of the way. Not an accountant, not a tax attorney, did not sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night. This is not tax advice of any kind. The only tax advice I will give you is if your first inclination is to ask a random stranger on the internet in a YouTube comment, tweet thread, or a Facebook group, how do I handle X, Y, or Z tax situation? My only point of advice to you is if you are writing that sentence, contact a CPA. Do not ask random people online for tax advice. Everyone's situation is different. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's get you in the loop on what's actually going on. You may or may not remember, a couple years ago, they changed the, now, and this is only for certain, some states are already dealing with this, but they changed the reporting threshold from $20,000 for PayPal and eBay, a bunch of other places, but for us in the collectibles industry, what we care about is PayPal and eBay. They changed the reporting threshold from $20,000 to $600. If you sold more than $600 on eBay or had more than $600 in income on PayPal goods and services, you would get a 1099. They announced this new rule, said it was coming. Everyone got mad about it. Fast forward to last year when this thing was supposed to kick in for tax year 2022, and they said, oh, yeah, we need more time on that. We're going to start it for the 2023 tax year. So when you do your taxes in 2024, you'll get 1099s from eBay and PayPal for anything you do this current year that we are in right now. Everyone got mad about that, argued in comment sections and said taxes are the devil. I'm never paying them, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to today. Well, yesterday when you all are watching this, it was announced that this is being delayed again. So you're all in the coast and clear for 1099s being issued from eBay and PayPal. It's going back to the $20,000 reporting limit. Now, they do state in here a couple things going forward. I mean, the good news is that you're not going to get a 1099 for this stuff. Legally, talk to a CPA. You should be paying your taxes on all income. I will just leave it at that. But you won't be getting a paper trail this year for it. So, the other thing they lay out in here is there's two keynotes for this upcoming year, as in 2024, because if this goes through, you would now get 1099Ks in the beginning of 2025 for anything that you do this upcoming year. But what they're saying is the $600 number, yeah, we might have messed that one up. So now they're saying next year will be a $5,000 reporting limit for these numbers. Instead of the 20,000 and instead of 600, they're going to go with 5K. And then they say going forward from there, this is going to be a phase in. They will go to $600. However, the other key thing to kind of think about here is they also basically say the $600 number is probably never going to be realistic, and we may rework this entire thing because it caused too much chaos for the online selling community. So my gut tells me, and I'm way out of my depth of field here, is that $20,000, they don't like that number. It gives way too much wiggle room. $600 is way too low. It's way too restrictive and causes a bunch of other problems. It's probably going to end up at this $5,000 number and stick there. Maybe it goes a little bit higher. I don't know. Maybe it goes to 10,000. But I'd be willing to bet this $5,000 number sticks and it stays around there. Now, once again, talk to a CPA. But if you're not, I would, at minimum, if you're not already, even if not for tax purposes, just for your own education on what you got coming in and going out, keep track of your card / collectible stuff separately. Get a spreadsheet, track everything. I use QuickBooks. It automatically ties into my PayPal account. A lot of the transactions automatically go over. Most of the stuff that I do online, I use on PayPal. I have the little app on my phone, so when I'm traveling, if I need to snap receipts for travel expenses or anything else, if I go to the local hobby shop and buy some top loaders, I could snap the receipt and scan it in, and it automatically uploads it to my QuickBooks and puts the transaction on there and all that good stuff. That would be at my one recommendation, besides speaking to a CPA, is come up with a system and start tracking your stuff. Now, what that stuff is what the CPA will tell you. But generally speaking, your travel to and from shows, supplies, stuff that you buy, depending on what it is, what categories it falls under. Once again, every person is going to be different. Do you need an LLC? Do you not need an LLC? Talk to a CPA. Don't ask random people on Facebook. So that should be your big takeaway here. One, stuff's not changing immediately, so you shouldn't expect 1099s for this upcoming year. Looks like it might be $5K for next year. Going forward, who knows? This is now the second time this has been pushed back. I would not be surprised if it gets pushed back for a third time. And then keep track of your stuff. Ultimately, that is one of the more important things. Like I said, this stuff works differently for every individual person. The $600 number was just completely ridiculous and unrealistic. And it said down here, even the people that were initially for that number now realize that that number was completely unrealistic. And I'm sure eBay and a lot of other places had lobbyists barking in people's ear saying, hey, dummy, this is pretty stupid. So I'm sure people will still be mad and upset about this. I think 5,000 is probably a more reasonable number than 20K. And it's definitely a way more reasonable number than 600. 600, the problem with it was it just caught the random people up. If you're just random guy or girl and you just sell like a couple old things on eBay that you had laying around and suddenly you clip over the $600 limit, next thing you know, the 1099's coming for some random junk you had laying around in the garage. It's not like those people are trying to make a living out of this and doing something shady. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, if you have $18,000 in income coming in and that you're not getting a 1099 for, that's a little bit of a different story. Not to take team government side here at all, but I could kind of see their point from that perspective. The $600 number was absolutely stupid. So you have time, get your stuff in line, go find yourself a good CPA. There are people out there that specifically specialize in or are familiar with sports cards / collectibles / the hobby. And those people have a little bit of a background in that. You could find those people out there. There are plenty of them. Find someone like that. If you are watching this video and you know a good CPA that works in multiple states that covers things like this, feel free to drop their information or a name or a website. Don't put a website because YouTube gets weird and they'll automatically block the comment. But just throw a name down there. It's 2023. We can Google people and find the person. But if you have someone that you recommend, feel free to drop them down below. So, tax cheats, rejoice. eBay, Etsy. Once again, this affected a lot of other things beyond just eBay and PayPal. I think like DoorDash, all that stuff, rideshare stuff. Etsy was another big one that was super pissed off about this. It affected a lot of things. It is glad to see that there is at least a little bit of common sense out there. So that is all I have for you, boys and girls. Everyone have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.